Guys, guess what? UTPR updated! So guess what I'm gonna do? I wanna break everything down that you need to know about this update. So, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 1K subs, so I can finally feed myself. So the map got updated and we got the city from Glitchtail. After running around this map, killing people a few times, it's a pretty good map. Like, round of applause to Grim. Very cool. You have stuff like a cafe, so if you like sipping coffee and watching chaos, there's your place. There's also can't forget about the main thing about the map, Betty's blob that was captured by the Avalon or whatever. But if you look very closely, okay, look very closely at this thing, it does a little trolling. As in, it's not solid, so not a very good hiding spot, to be honest. First and foremost, all these can be turned off or on in settings, I believe. But first of all, the HP bar was rendered out. I don't know why, but it makes the UI look cleaner. There's also a new thing called resets on kill. Basically, if you kill someone, you go back in the first phase, full health, nothing special about that. And an example is if you were phase 3 Asriel, and you kill someone, you go back to first phase, and you'll have Hyper Gunner eventually, and you'll just, you know, keep going as you should. But it basically makes teaming a bit harder and slightly inconvenient, especially when you have a friend who disconnects every 5 minutes. There are now spawn animations that give iframes way longer than they should, but hey, they look cool. Footsteps, they can be turned off so you cannot hear them. Why? I don't know. Sam's got a rework. I say this in quotations because he's now just like every other character. He takes knockback, he has a health bar, and there's no reason to spam every button on your controller, phone, or keyboard trying to deal with him. Sam's got 2 new moves, first one being Bone 6, which is Bone 5, but it surprises you from behind, like my uncle. And the second move is
5 little happy stars running.
Hey kid, do you want a wiener in your mouth?
which heals him for some pretty decent HP. Everything else is still the same. Asgore got a new skin, and no, it is not just a sword skin that gives noises or whatever. It's actually his whole entire kit, which is pretty cool. There are now new game modes. Instead of having a 1v the entire server, you can go into 1v1s. So there's no need to complain and cry about teaming anymore. There are casual 1v1s for people who like to sweat to a little to none ratio, and then there's ranked 1v1 mode, where eventually if you want a funny gas blaster skin, you'll have to sweat your ass off to show how cool you are, basically. What I'm saying is, pause the video, go outside, take a deep breath in and out, and go lay in some grass, you unuseful fuck. Sorry, lost my cool there. There's also a casual FFA mode, so if you don't feel like worrying about your KDR, your kill per death ratio, there you go, you just stay there. Undyne, the fish stick wick, who if a blind man walked by, he would say, "Hello, ladies." Undyne got an entirely new phase, which allows people to live out their dreams to be the incarnate of justice. And with this new phase comes an entirely new moveset. First things first, you have to either have 75% determination to use this, and if you don't, well...
Then pay with your blood!
Oh, fuck.
You will not be feeling okay after that. After a cool cutscene of justice, you'll get armor and a timer. True hero form only lasts for a short time, and after that timer is gone, your armor breaks, and you receive a debuff from it. But in third phase, you are more tanky, and you hurt more as well. You know the saying, take hits like you're being hit by a truck, and hit people like you are the truck. Sun Tzu, probably. Anyway, Spear 4 got a new charge move. Yeah, just imagine that, but with more spears for phase 2 and 3. Kind of. Starting out, phase 3 stats is 80 attack and 225 defense on a timer, which is pretty good. Frisk still tops everyone in defense. Why does a child with a necklace have more defense than someone in a suit of fucking armor? Why? Spear 1 really didn't change at all, it just added a little bit of an explosion, which it does more damage because of the stat boost. Spear 1 charged, on the other hand. Undyne will dash forward before throwing the spear like someone's child. It's super fast, and it looks freaking cool. The only problem I have is that the dash forward doesn't deal any damage, it's just there to kind of like move. I don't know, kind of a missed opportunity in my opinion. Now Spear 2 has changed completely. Instead of raising some spears from the ground, you deck the opponent.
I'll give you to the cat.
It does pretty decent damage as well as look cool. It's also a combo extender. Spear 2 Charge, on the other hand, is basically the same thing as it normally would be for any other phases, but it just has a little bit of an animation change. Spear 3 has not changed a lot at all. The only difference is that when you impact the ground, little spears will eject, dealing a bit of damage and stun. Now, Spear 4 is Spear 4 with a lot of spears and small explosions that still deal damage. So nothing too different there. Now, Spear 4 Charged, on the other hand, you summon a big spear over your head, and let me tell you, that is the most menacing thing you'll ever see. But after it is released, the spear will hit the opponent and then explode into a bunch of little spears to also hit the opponent. It's Spear 4 but fancy. Spear 5 did not change at all, not even the charge version, so let's move on. Spear 6, the counter, instead of telling them they need to try harder L+ ratio, you just stomp them into the floor. Spear 7 is a very, very small version of the SOJ, dealing a little bit of damage. Now, Spear 7 Charged is the bigger SOJ. After a short time, Undyne will say catch, jump up into the air, tell you to hold this L, and launch a bigger SOJ that does more damage, has a bigger explosion radius. Basically, if you have low mana or no TP, you are just screwed. After that, Undyne's helmet breaks, and you gain a small buff from using the SOJ in that form. My boy, the GOAT, quite literally. Asgore, my beloved, my most wanted character. He exceeds my expectations beyond anything else, so round of applause to you, Lord. He's so cool. Anyway, his stats. He has 60 attack and 175 defense with 400 HP, which is most than any character has. Not combining phases, because that's a lot. He also has 2 new mechanics introduced into the meta of UTPR. One of the mechanics is called Burn, which is a slower orange version of Karma, but Burn can actually kill you. Any character is affected by it, so yeah. Let's get on to his moves. Trident 1. It's like Spear 1, but there's end lag on it, and it stuns the opponent. It outlines them in red, which kind of acts like Sans' Tele 3, where it slows you down and you can't TP. The effect only lasts for a couple seconds, but it's a really good option to extend your combos, or to basically stop someone from LMBing you because you have super armor. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention? Super armor, where unless basically you knock Asgore down, his moves will still come out. And it's really good just to kind of tank hits and start your own combo. Super armor is on like 98% of his moves. Trident 2, it's basically Delta Sans' Combat 3 without the iframes, and it does knockback. It's good for combos and also avoiding and taking through attacks. Trident 3, it's first 3, but it combo extends into more LMBs, so that's cool. Trident 4, Asgore's signature move, I like to call it, is pretty okay. It's also projectiles, but since they're orange and blue, they deal damage completely dependent if your opponent moves or not. So completely RNG. Trident 5. Asgore will tell you know how it is before slamming his trident into the floor, causing a small explosion and dealing some pretty good damage. Trident 6 is Asgore's counter. Isn't anything special, he just kind of perfect blocks you and then the opponent gets comboed. It's as simple as that. Fire 1, Asgore slams his trident to the ground, summoning a fire circle about 3 times. It deals stun and damage, but it's blockable, and it's really good for catching people that are running around. And because of the super armor, it can be used for combos. Kind of. Fire 2, Asgore will summon some lines of fireballs that will home in on the opponent. This move is not blockable, and it's really good immediately after an LMB. Fire 3, Asgore will shoot fireballs directly at you, and then after that, fireballs will shoot from the ground. This is one of Asgore's best fire damaging moves in my opinion. Fire 4. It's really hard to explain what this looks like or how it operates, so just take a look at it. Oh, yeah. It's also can be dodged, doesn't deal stun, and is blockable. Phase 2 Asgore. His stats are as follows. 65 attack and 180 defense with the mechanic where if he takes damage for every health lost, his attack will increase and his defense will decrease. Which is a pretty cool mechanic, and it could really lead into some stupid stuff. Your LMB, Fire Trident 1, 2, and 3 are all the same as first phase, but they now inflict fire damage. Fire Trident 4 really got no change other than the fact that now all your projectiles are red, so that means you do constant damage for each projectile. Fire Trident 5 is the same as before in the first phase, but with a little bit of an exception. If your opponent is low stamina and you stand right on top of them and use 5, you impale them and set them on fire. It's really good damage. Fire Trident 6 is Asgore's fire move. It's just a giant fire circle around him, or like in a spiral. This move is really good up close. Fire Trident 7 is the same as Fire 4 in first phase, but except it's bigger and longer range. Fire Trident 8. When you hit Asgore, this is his counter by the way, Asgore will tell you from all the monsters in the underground before basically JoJoing you into oblivion. If you get hit by the counter in low health and you die in the counter, you get a special death animation.